Oh, excellent collection. Excellent collection. Wow, cool. Okay, this is great. Let's see how this goes. Let's just get rid of this thing. So I just did a recording test before with the Wes Doodles, and it went really, really well. There was like some weird audio skipping, but weren't any really drop frames. Everything worked for the most part, so I'm going to see how live streaming goes. Um, so yeah, dum dee dum da. I should really think about where I'm gonna put a thingamajiggy, a the chat. Can you make it pop out? Yes, you can. Hooray! Can I make it like display above everything? So this is where having a multi-monitor setup would be good. Ah, whatever. I can just back in and out, can't I? Okay. Should I put this out? We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Right, let's do the next request, which was the Sixth Doctor, Colin Baker. And that was from British Shadow GG. I think I remembered that name right. Let's look at he left a reference GIF, so I can have a look at that at least. Looking very smug. Okay. I did draw Mittens wearing the Sixth Doctor's coat before, actually. It seemed fitting because he's got the little cat pin. I'm not very good at drawing curly hair, so this will actually be quite fun to do. In a sense. It will push me to work a bit harder. Yeah, I don't like the longer hair look from Trial of the Time Lord, or Trial of a Time Lord, wherever it goes. Oh yeah, now I'm seeing pictures of the blue coat people came up with. This'll work. Oh my gosh. So this is quite different actually, because the Wes one was based on an existing drawing, but for this I'm essentially reinterpreting the character entirely. So let's see. It's got a very sort of Eccleston look on his face there. You send that down a bit. Oh god. Well, just make that a bit thinner then. You send that down a bit, and that is Eccleston. Put a mole that like there. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. As always, let's make this a bit smaller. I've just had a little bit of a snack, but I might need to have some lunch soon. So, yeah, we'll see. Very touch and go. Okay. Well, as always, let's try recreating the pose first. Oops. Whoa. What the hell was that nose? Oh my god, okay, right, that's a bit fucked. Let's do some sketchy stuff. Go full on Glen Keane again. It's quite funny drawing this style of curly hair after doing Wes, because yeah. I mean, look at like the silhouette's even looking kind of similar here. Yeah, drawing curly hair outside of, like I guess an afro look is quite uncommon for me, and I really want to get better at it. I want to figure out what the hell that looks like in my style. I don't want all my hair to just be like homogenous blocks. I want to like imply some depth, you know? So I was talking about this in the test recording I did, but love Colin Baker's Twitter. Love his bizarre obsession with Crocs. I don't know if that still perseveres. Like that, I mean, I'm probably going off knowledge from like, you know, 3 or 4 years ago at this point. But when I last checked in, he was very into his Crocs. So I don't think I've drawn Colin especially often. I mean, Ewan and I, who's the that's the guy that requested this. We talk pretty often about Doctor Who. It's probably the thing we talk about most often outside of like Ed's World. Um, and one of the main things he often brings up is how much he loves the classic era. And I really wish I watched more of the classic era. I tried to get back into it. Well, I tried to get into it in 2017. I watched the first couple Fourth Doctor episodes, and I had kind of a good time, but I just sort of lost interest, unfortunately. You know, of course, I went to Fourth Doctor because that's the one loads of people recommend. Robot was really silly, yeah, silly and fun and dumb. Um, but that's a very weird mouth, but it'll do. I mean, I'll probably do another pass before I do anything close to serious. Crap, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I watched Ark in Space. I watched the first few episodes of that, and then I just kind of lost interest. I don't know. I think it was just mainly because summer was ending, and I had to get back to work animating. So work is in like uni. I have not been employed in the animation industry as of yet, and that is a long, long-term goal if that ever happens. I really want to get on top of my drawing before then. I mean, for the longest time, my goal was to go independent, and then when YouTube kind of shared the bed, and that became very difficult to do, especially without an established audience. I had to change my work set a bit. But yeah, like trying to do this for years with the idea of like, it doesn't matter if my methods are a bit sloppy because I mean it's just me. But then realizing, oh shit, animation is fucking complicated and doing everything by yourself is almost a death sentence. Like only the craziest people could really do that. I mean, like full respect to them as well, but like it, no, that is not my mindset at all. I am by no means like. I mean, there's certain areas I just flat out don't do well in. I really don't enjoy layout design because my perspective isn't great, and my sense of set dressing could just be really chaotic. I have a really inefficient way of working. I usually have to see stuff in action before I can decide whether it looks alright or not. I don't know if I've gone too like how this looks almost too afro, but this has kind of like if I had to draw it from here, it would be like something like weirdly pertsy about it. I don't know. That's just me. Oh, maybe this is what I should have been doing from the start. Just tracing over it and getting the idea of how it looks. It's kind of hard to tell because it's quite a low res image, but that does offer me some slack, I guess. Just want to make it look quite like bouncy, you know. I used to do this kind of thing all the time, drawing on top of photos. It's a really good way to learn faces, actually, and caricature. I did something similar to Dad used to do this thing called news poodles, where he'd draw on newspapers he was getting brought in hospital, and then he would post the results on Twitter, and they were always terrifying and fucking weird as hell, and I loved them. I did that for a couple of years. It was very fun. Did it these days, I'd probably want to be more elaborate about it. You know, I was just drawing on top of it and just improvising like whatever the fuck just came into my head at that time. But you can still find those at my old Facebook page. Oh God, God. Okay, okay, interesting. Yeah, I give him quite wide eyes here. He's a very cynical doctor. I know he's known for that much. Like, even though I haven't seen any full episodes, I've seen stuff like his regeneration scene where he strangles Perry. Fucking weird as hell. Like, no wonder people reacted weirdly to that. I have seen him in court being all like, "Oh, I'm no, not the Matrix." Really bad Colin Baker, but what's a famous quote of his? Carrot juice, carrot juice, carrot juice. His final line. What else does he say? You're expecting someone else? Change, my dear. It seems not a moment too soon. See, like, I haven't seen the full episodes, but I think I kind of osmosis most of the, like, the iconic bits. But he's also, I mean, he was on the show at the time when parents were like increasingly complaining about the show being more and more violent. I think Mary Whitehouse got involved at some point. She's still kicking about in the 80s. 80s was probably when she was at her prime, to be fair. If you don't know, Amy Whitehouse is a famed sort of, I think she was a conservative, like, you know, a conservative in belief, not in like political party. Sort of, what would you call it? Not a watchdog, like someone who sort of, like a sort of a moral arbiter in some ways. What the hell did you call those? You know, stuff like the Parental Advisory Council and stuff, or whatever that organization is called in America that just constantly rates South Park the worst show ever every year. If that means anything. Anyway. Fuck, what was I saying? Yeah, so anyway, Mary Whitehouse is a sort of famous or infamous activist, I suppose, who complained quite often to the BBC about the violence of their content. She's quite notorious for complaining about some quite trivial things in some cases. And Doctor Who was among them, I'm pretty certain. And at the very least, if it wasn't her directly, then there were, you know, people inspired by her were like, hey, the show's pretty fucking violent and it's ostensibly a kid's show. You know, so, I mean, Colin Baker is some of the most notorious episodes in that regard. He has that one where he's on the planet that's like a big reality TV show. I forget what it's called right now. And he throws a man into some acid. Like they're gonna put him in an acid bath, and then he turns around, throws them in, and then makes this James Bond ass quip like, "Yeah, I would be taking a dip today," and then he like walks out, and people are like, "What the fuck?" There's just like no remorse. He was just like, "I'm just gonna dissolve a man." Bye. I don't know if that top knot makes any sense. Eh. Again, this is all doodles and stuff, so not to a particularly like high standard. It would just be fun to figure out how to draw a character of someone else's suggestion. Yeah, that's about as much as I know about Colin Baker. I know he's done some really good audiobooks with Big Finish, which I want to get into. I mean, I especially want to get into it now they're getting Christopher Eccleston back. That sounds amazing. Never thought I'd see him return to the role. Like, super cool of him. Um, and, if they ever get back to the show proper, that'll be excellent. But I'm not expecting anything. He's an actor. He's has his right to choose his projects. He's so cool. I just get super nostalgic for the Eccleston era. I was like in the perfect demographic for it in some ways. I mean, there was an interview Eccleston outright did where he was like, "Oh, I want to hit kids in the like, I want to have an impact on kids." Saying I want to hit kids just sound weird. I want to have an impact on kids in the like 7 to 9 or 7 to 10 age range, and I was 8 years old when that show premiered. So in 2005, not in 1963. Um, I'm not in my 60s yet. Whoa. And this is looking really odd. Yeah, okay, that's better. I think I should just be a bit looser with this because I'm trying to tie it down too soon, but I need to sort of draw out on the paper. So let's go back to oh god. Every so often the mouse just does that. Let's get another reference. Okay, I can work with this. There's that one of him holding the umbrella that I really like. It's that one promotional picture. I think we use it on the Wikipedia article. Nah. I search Sixth Doctor. Whoops. Promotional picture or image. Speaking of Doctor Who promotional images, there's a great one from the Five Doctors where they're all holding this big wax figure of Tom Baker that just looks absolutely dead. Like they just had it on loan from Madame Tussauds because obviously Tom Baker didn't make an in-person appearance in that. I mean, it was like 2 years after he'd left the role, and he'd been in the role for like 8 years. Um, Fully understandable. Ooh. Um, Have I searched Sixth Doctor Umbrella? Whoopsie. Is this the one? This looks like from the same day. There it is. I love this image. It's like a very playful interpretation of him that we didn't really get to see. I think the intent for this character was that he was going to be a bit edgy and amnesiac and stuff at first. It's kind of what they ended up doing with Peter Capaldi in the end. But they just didn't have enough time to work with him. He was on screen for like 2 years, including like the massive hiatus they had, and he was just off. He got fired. It's fucking sucked, man. Because anyway, politics. All right, yeah. Let's just keen this out, as we say. So he's got a little bit of sharpness here, but he's nicely built. Doesn't really have visible eyebrows. So on the Venn diagram, he's closer to Matt Smith than David Tennant, I suppose. No, Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi's the one with the fucking eyebrows. So it's the thing they focused on in the anniversary special, isn't it? No, or 13. That famous Peter Capaldi line. I'm going to go to the past and I'm going to seal Gallifrey away. Don't don't follow me, Clara. Clara. Clara, I turned myself into a pickle. I'm called the Pickle Doctor. Oh, that went a bit Irish there. Funniest shit you'll ever see. Clara, Clara, I'm dying. I'm dying. You need to get me my tonic screwdriver. Yes, my gin and tonic screwdriver. It's very important. I don't know what I'm on about. Clara. Clara, no. Am I a good man, Clara? I do need to watch more of Jodie Whittaker's season. I watched the first episode and I was really into it. It was genuinely terrifying. I mean, they set an entire episode at night, which is just like super uncommon for Doctor Who, especially in like an Earth story, you know? It feels like the closest they got to that was like Utopia back in season 3, or series 3, sorry. But even then, that wasn't a contemporary setting. Keep my pen a bit thicker might help. No, it does not. It actually makes it a bit worse. Okay, yeah, let's just keep constructing this. Give him a bit of a potato head nose. And then a good trick for doing eyeballs is doing circles, plotting out the direction they're facing, which looks terrifying. He looks like a snake person. I mean, I'm not very good at doing, you know, like realistic portraits or anything. There's a very specific reason why I go for stylized. And yes, if I did get better at it, you know, that'd be fantastic. And it would improve my caricaturing skills doubtless, but, you know, I am not selling myself as good at realism because I don't want to missell my work. That's it. Basically, I don't want to missell my skill set and let people down. You know, if and when I get better at it, then hell yeah, I'll shout it from the rooftops. But for now, like, no, I'm absolutely, that is not my specialty. There are a bajillion people, and that's a factual number, that are more capable than me when it comes to realism. I've drawn the eyebrows too far up. He's got quite a sizable forehead, doesn't he? I mean, I know I said he doesn't really have eyebrows, but I do need to draw something just to, you know, illustrate. This made me think of a fun tip that this is looking kind of criticky. You know, like the Fox show or ABC, depending on who you ask. Sorry, God, I'm getting sidetracked. What I meant to say was remembering that fun sort of trick from secondary school art. Probably one of the few good things I learned from it, where they're like, "Oh, the eye, you know, the sclera and iris are always touching the top or bottom of the eye, unless you've got them like wide open." Which, you know, that all goes out the window when I'm doing stylized cartoon stuff. There we go. It's a bit more like it. And his head's looking less round now as well. Oh, he's become CalArt's cringe. It's the ubiquitous bean head. That's what people's heads kind of look like that, guys. Kind of level with you. That's kind of what people's heads are like. You have the cheekbones go in and then the jaw comes out. Like, fuck me. Anyway. It's not one to one with the reference, but it is getting there. So I just think it's a more interesting profile when you kind of offset the mouth and the cheekbones. It's more interesting than his head just being like perfectly round, you know? I mean, like, yeah, sure, the drawing skill should still be there, you know, but like I'm not opposed to Cal art style, particularly given that that term was coined by the person it was. Anyway, I have to really try hard not to go off on people on these things because, yeah, best to keep it positive. Lest I make myself a bit sad. That's getting there. That's getting there. It is looking more like Colin Baker now. You know, aside from his freakish eyes. Change, my dear. It seems not a moment too soon. I think that was one of the other things that kind of put them off about him. He was just like, "Ew, the last incarnation sucked," and like Peter Davison was like one of the most liked Doctors, or at least that was the impression people got. I don't know how much that actually applies to how he portrayed the character. Is it mirrored on this end? No, they are the same direction. Okay. I mean, I might as well draw this mirrored. Okay. I think this was like a personal choice from Colin Baker, the outfit. Forget if it was like driven by um, wardrobe constrictions or what. I mean, we're a long way off from the days where someone could accidentally use an entire ball of yarn for a bloody scarf and not get sacked over it. That's still an amazing story. If you didn't know, that's why Tom Baker's scarf is so long, allegedly at least, because a prop designer got handed a big ball of yarn and then they used the entire ball to make the scarf. Love, just love stories like that. Honestly, it's just great to see like even the pros like have those moments of you know, not having everything figured out from the start, shit happening by accident, and then them being like, oh shit, wait, this is actually really cool. Okay, yeah, this is looking better. Okay, cool. I feel confident in doing another one now. Doing another doodle. This probably comes further up here or something. I don't know. In terms of doctors I've drawn before, though, I've drawn Sylvester McCoy a few times. I caricatured him. I made myself a personal goal to caricature him over summer 2017. That's probably somewhere in here, or it's probably a Fire Alpaca file. Oh, man, that coffee's good. Bum, bum, bum. I can't think what to say because I sidetracked myself again. what was I saying? Oh yeah, doctor stuff drawn before. Sylvester McCoy. Um, I set myself the task of caricaturing him over 2017, and then I did it for we were doing basically Inktober, but I did it in pencil. Um, didn't do it for every day, and then found out later that it was mandatory, and we was my flatmate. Finding out we were supposed to. So that was stressful. Having to just like randomly do like 5 drawings in a day or whatever. But I did Sylvester McCoy for that. It was like favorite quote, and I was just pressed for time, so I was just like, the thing about time being like a big boulder dropped in a lake. That's a cool quote. I'll use that one. Probably isn't my like favorite quote of all time. I don't know what my favorite quote of all time would be. It's probably just something really boring from like Shakespeare. Just one of those things that's become like a commonplace saying, like much ado about nothing, or I don't know. What else did he coin? Something like none the wiser. I used to have a big book of Shakespeare sayings. Actually, you should see my parents have still got out of their house. Like specifically phrases and then like quotes that often come up in conversation. No exit pursued by bear though. Bit of a miss there. Oopsie. He's very conflicted in this. He's like kind of worried, perturbed. I'm wondering if I should move his eyes up to be the same way they are in the reference, but I mean, I'm just doing this as a basic test, you know. I'm gonna draw another picture because I'm not a huge fan of how I've drawn his eyes here. I want to be a bit more stylized, you know, a bit more toony. Well, I say stylized, what I mean is I want to draw the eyes like this. But that's what it would look like if I just did it outright, so I need to do a bit more of a study. Learn the rules so I can break them. That's what choosers always used to say. Well, learn the rules so you can break them, you know, changing the tense. I'm always reluctant to put like facial details, like wrinkles and stuff in, because you put too many and they start to look old. Uh, Clara, I need you to inject me with the anti-Time Lord syndrome. I don't know. I like just making Pizza Capaldi say Clara. Oh, Clara. When you came and you didn't die. It blew me away, oh Clara. Does that work? I want to like indicate some depth, you know? I'm doing this weird curled out bit. Just posting the Wes medley. I put it as a recliner thread, but I don't think anyone really saw it, so. It's back to Colin. Something off about that mouth. Again, if you want to know why I don't do like realistic portraits very often, there you go. I have to do a lot of passes on someone before I'm confident drawing them in my own style. Whoa, way too jowly. That's like Colin Baker 2 years ago, you know? I don't know why specifically 2 years ago. Modern Colin Baker. As opposed to classic Colin Baker. Love the love the episode where he went to Chemical Plant Zone and threw tails into the acid. That was great. I'm gonna redo the eyes, I think, because they're just distracting me too much. Maybe I should just make him do the fucking Obama, like, then perish. Needs to be rounded. I'm gonna do one of those, yeah, something like this. It's like kind of, you know, the top bit's curled. Yeah, that works better. Then perish. I mean, out of all of them, maybe like aside from Christopher Eccleston, that feels like the person that would do that most. Christopher Eccleston would be like, then perish. That wasn't a good northern accent at all. Rose, I'm going to the fucking hell, this is terrible. Rose, by the time you see this, I will be dead. I have set the TARDIS to set the TARDIS. It's like turning into Jodie. I've made the TARDIS go back to your own time. You'll be able to go back home, eat fish and chips, and I'll be dead. Never forget that, Rose. I'm dead. Anyway, you were fantastic. Bye. That famous two quote. Oh, the part where he laughed, that just he just completely fucking corpsed. That still still brings a tear to my eye. I'm not gonna cry now, but you know, the tears there in spirit. What else is like a good Christopher Eccleston quote? I mean, outside of like run, run, run for your life. Like every last stinking Dalek out of the sky. No. I think you'll find the Prime Minister is actually an alien. Oh no. I think you'll find the Prime Minister is actually an alien in disguise. That's never going to work, is it? No. Fair enough. Do still love a bit of Eccleston. Just brought such a gravity to the role. He felt so damn serious. But like cheeky and fun as well. I mean, they actually let him use his actual accent, which was sort of rare for Doctor Who actors. I mean, they have that whole bit which is like, Rose is like, why'd you sound, if you're an alien, why'd you sound like you're from the North? Lots of planets have a North. There's a really good remix on YouTube called Around Time by Smuffy. It's got some great Ninth Doctor, I call him the First Doctor, Ninth Doctor samples in. Would highly recommend it. I've just got it playing in my head now. It's where I got um, the Prime Minister line from, because I've just listened to that song over and over. It's bloody brilliant. Right. I mean, honestly, this is looking quite good. I'm quite happy with this. You know, I could probably do another, but this would definitely be. I'd be happy with this if someone sent this back to me. It might sound conceited to say that, but you just have to be your own cheerleader for this kind of shit. You know, I'm done being self-deprecating. It's fucking exhausting. Like I'll laugh at myself every so often, but like, if you just do it forever, you just start to hate yourself, like genuinely, and it sucks, man. Perspective on this probably doesn't make any sense, but that should be obstructed a bit, I think. Yeah, there we go. Jesus, that was way too pixely for my own liking. Then perish. And I fudged some of the details here, but hey, I think this makes sense. It's funny that I don't think that ever really entered my that sort of thing ever really entered my vocabulary before I went to uni. The idea of a drawing making sense, like in how it's constructed and stuff, which is fucking batshit considering I've been drawing for like 6 years at that point. Them's the breaks. There is no one way to get into drawing. It's all quite subjective. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I don't think I bodged the curly hair too badly. Handy thing about not having to work off an actual established character design is I can just bullshit the hair a bit. I can just be like, I can just make that a bit curlier, a bit rounder. It's not like I have to draw 14 curls or whatever. 16. I was just counting it out of curiosity. 16 if you include the sort of flattish ones, if you include these as two separate ones. Which I do. Yeah, just round it out a bit more without destroying the silhouette. This seems like one where I should do it in red. Get rid of the green. Okay, whatever. It's good enough, isn't it? Nope. Yeah, do some fun perspective on this. I've probably drawn David Tennant at some point as well, actually. I mean, I did a bunch of Doctor Who comics when I was in like year 3, which I think have been long thrown out at this point, but I had them laminated and bound and was super happy with them at the time, I remember. That's working. Yeah, I don't think I'll do more Colin Baker, actually. I think I'm happy enough with that. Whoa, what the hell did I just do? I just changed the fuck did I press to do that? There's something on the tablet. Control and tab? Oh, I can do that to switch between Alt tab? No, that changes Windows. What the fuck? What did I do? Okay, I guess I'll just take them all out manually. Weird. I must have like hit all or something. Oh yeah, that's looking much better than the first couple attempts. Colin Baker's and raw files. Oops. And then this will just be the one I save, I think. canvas a bit bigger. Let's do 550 by 480. Maybe a bit taller actually. Or if we just move them further down. There we go. And then I'll just do a nice... I could colour him. Might be alright as he is. I mean, I like PNGing my images, so I'll probably just put a white backdrop. Whoopsie, whoopsie! Oh my god, what am I doing? What the fuck? Show slide? No. What the hell did I do there? Did I do that? Oh, I like stretched it out, didn't I? What the fuck? What the hell did I do? God. What? Where am I? Where's my tool selections now? Show tool palette. There we go. The hell was that? God, why am I just like accidentally just like triggering random like arcane functions of this program? Oh god. This is a bit of a throwback. This feels like the kind of thing I'd have drawn a few years ago. Just a very simple macro style thing. Whoa. This is probably where I'm going to get a bit uncomfortably close to the camera while I scrutinize the fill. It probably doesn't matter if I have a bit of... In fact, if I have a bit of bleeding on the outside, it might look better. Let's just make this smaller. I mean, I don't think I really needed that palette that badly anyway. I have to like view the footage back and see if I can figure out what happened, but I think I just clicked something randomly and then it just fucked it. Yeah, YouTube makes you specify if your videos are copy compliant, and I was very clearly like, no, because I know I'm going to swear at some point. And maybe I'll say something about a breast. That's how straight people talk, right? They talk about a breast. Not straight men, at least. Yeah, not amazing. Like, I mean, I drew it quite a low resolution, so you know, it's not gonna blow your socks off in terms of how nice it looks. But for a quick request, that's fine. But yeah, if I ever do commissions, I do hope I get quicker at this because getting them at a good rate, fuck me. It takes me an hour to do like a doodle essentially. Yeah, it does look like Colin Baker at least. Looks pussy. Colin Baker, perish. Yes. I'm drawing quite an elf-like ear there as well. You just kind of have one. Right, okay, well that will conclude that stream test then. Hopefully it didn't drop too many frames. Let's see.